All right, Mr. Green, I'm just gonna go over the waiver real quick, and then I'll allow you to be heard. All right, Mr. Hunsucker, I've been handed a document entitled Waiver of Counsel, which indicates you do not wish the court to consider appointing you counsel.
The short version is that on September 23rd, 2018, the victim in this case is Miss Stacy Hunsucker, the defendant's wife. She suffered some sort of health issue at their home on that evening. She was taken to a local hospital, treated, and eventually succumbed to that health issue. Not much happened in the intervening few weeks or even months, investigation-wise, but at some point it was determined that a number of vials of blood were being held by a private company that handles tissue and organ donation that were taken from the victim prior to her cremation. Agent Morgan and the medical examiner were able to get a hold of that blood, have it tested, and it tested very high levels of Tetrahydrozoline, which is one of the active ingredients in certain eye drop medicine that you would use to clear your eyes. That we're told by our toxicologists and our cardiologists that that medicine has a dramatic effect on your heart and would cause heart stoppage or heart failure in a fairly short amount of time, which is consistent with what happened here. Through the investigation, Agent Morgan and the other agents have been able to rule out other people contributing to Ms. Hunsucker's death, rule out suicide, and we believe, based on the interrogation of the defendant that occurred yesterday, that we have probable cause that he is the one who poisoned Ms. Hunsucker with Visine or a similar product and caused her death. Without saying too much, quite a bit of our information we got from him during his interview. I don't know that he would characterize it as a confession, but it certainly approached that level, Your Honor.
Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. And don't forget to like and sub to my channel and press that notification bell so you can be notified future videos. A paramedic is accused of fatally poisoning his wife, and this ingredient can be found in eye drops. This man is from North Carolina. He's a paramedic and is accused of using an ingredient found in eye drops and nasal spray to cause the death of his wife in 2018. So this happened last year. His name is, wait for it guys, wait for it, Joshua Lee. Yeah, Hunsucker. His middle name is Lee. He's 35 years old, and he has appeared in court in Gadsden County Court, where prosecutors said he gave a statement that would consider to be a confession. His wife Stacy, she was 32. She died in her home in Mount Holly, North Carolina on September the 23rd, 2018. A GoFundMe campaign created in 2015 by Susan, a friend of the couples, stated that Stacy had been experiencing medical problems since February 2013. after she gave birth to the couple's first daughter. 5 months later, a devastating fire in their home destroyed most of the couple's belongings, according to the crowdfund campaign. In November keeps coming up, guys. I don't know. 2014, after Stacy gave birth to the couple's second daughter, she was admitted into the hospital for a low heart rate and low blood pressure and placed in the ICU for several days, according to the GoFundMe. Stacy was admitted to the hospital again in January 2015 for a low heart rate and went into cardiac arrest. Once she was settled into her room and was placed on a ventilator to help her breathe, the GoFundMe states. After many tests, the doctors are still stunned to what was going on. Sternbrenner wrote, she later returned home on January the 29th, 2015, and it is unclear whether her visits to the hospital continued after that date. After she died, Joshua allegedly refused to allow an autopsy to be performed, stating that he did not want his wife to be cut up, despite the fact that she was an organ donor. You know, that's pretty odd, isn't it? I thought nobody could go against your wishes. If you're an organ donor, you gotta abide by what she signed for. So what's the point? But anyway, he didn't want her cut up, and then according to an affidavit filed in Gaston County on Thursday, because he was in court a little while ago, he then had her body cremated immediately. As soon as he could get her body cremated, he had her cremated. Wow, he didn't waste no time. And then the investigators found out, they discovered that Stacy was an organ donor for Life Share Donor Center. They obtained a blood sample that had been preserved and sent to the lab for testing. And I guess he wasn't expecting that, this medic. The results showed a high level of Tetrahydrozoline, about 30 to 40 times higher than a therapeutic level, according to the affidavit. The ingredient found in eye drops and nasal spray, and it's not harmful when used as directed, but when it is ingested can cause vomiting, diarrhea, nausea, seizures, and a cardiac arrest. And his wife seemed to have all those symptoms. That medicine has a dramatic effect on your heart. Yes, on your heart. And would cause heart stoppages or heart failure. North Carolina State Attorney Jordan Green said, oh dear, that name's coming up, said in court on Friday, Joshua told at least 4 different versions as to what was going on before he found his wife not breathing and blue, according to the affidavit. On the scene, he told police that he had gone outside to make sure his vehicles were locked, because there had been several reports of vehicle break-in and entry into the neighborhood. According to the court documents, Joshua allegedly told a friend that he had gone for a walk to burn off some energy, but told another friend that he had gone out back to cut some wood for signs that he makes. Yeah, he makes signs this way, this way, this way. Well, he should be okay then when he goes to prison. They make signs there, don't they? Yeah. You fit right in. I can see it now. And then Joshua also allegedly told Susie Robertson, his wife's mother, that is, he was sitting in the kitchen table working on his computer with his back to her, with his back to his wife, and that when he turned around, he saw her slumped over the side of the couch. And that's according to the affidavit. About 2 weeks prior to Stacy's death, an arrest of a nurse in York County, South Carolina, for which she was accused of putting eye drops in her husband's water, causing him to experience seizures and go into cardiac arrest. He was given high-profile media coverage in the area. So this was another high-profile media coverage. And according to the affidavit, prosecutors pointed to several points of similarities that between that case and Joshua's, considering he worked in the same medical field and also had been home alone with his spouse at the time of her death. Joshua would likely have had access to this medication, Tetrahydrozoline. He would have had that as part of his medical supplies. Joshua is a flight medic for Med Center Air, for which his training and experience will certainly provide a thorough understanding of various types of medications, and those medications could react in the body. Additionally, his employment provides access to non-controlled substances which do not require login or inventory control. Wow, I bet it does now. Oh yeah, I bet it does now. He's a thief as well. He stole the medication.
Grandma.
Co-workers for Joshua express concern to investigations on how unaffected he was by his wife's death and how quickly he had moved on with his girlfriend, whom he moved into the home he previously shared with his wife. The new girlfriend was visual in his and his 2 young children's lives within 6 months of Stacy's death. In addition, Stacy's funeral was arranged and paid for by her parents rather than her husband. The two were high school sweethearts. I mean, she did not deserve for this to happen to her, a friend Kelly said. She was a great mother, and she was a happy person. After Stacy's mother became aware of her son-in-law's new relationship, which had been going on prior to her death, mind you, she sent a referral to the North Carolina Department of Insurance based on the suspicious death of her daughter associated with her life insurance policy. According to the court documents, the life insurance policy provided a beneficiary payment of $200,000 or $100,000 with a double indemnity clause, and a second policy provided to a beneficiary payment of $50,000. Joshua was the beneficiary. An arrest warrant was filed for Joshua on Thursday on a first-degree murder charge. He is being held in Gaston County Jail on a $1.5 million bond. When he was in court on Friday last week, his defense attorneys pointed out several people who attended his hearing to show support and empathize the fact that he was a flight medic. Joshua had been employed with the Outram Health Med Center Air Unit since 2013. Yeah, that's when his wife started getting sick, 2013. Yep, he started then, and his wife started getting sick not long after. But he had been fired as of Friday, because he got charged on Friday. The WSOC confirmed with the company he had been under investigation for misconduct at work. This case is in the news, and this is going to be a trial. So he has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of his wife and cause of death. He used eye drops. He used Visine. Death by Visine.
Of what was thought to be a heart attack is now charged with her murder. Prosecutors in North Carolina say Joshua Hunsucker poisoned the mother of his children using eye drops, which has a
dramatic effect on your heart and would cause heart stoppage or heart failure.
Stacy Hunsucker had apparently been battling heart problems for years, but family and friends grew suspicious after her death last September. The victim's mother sparking an investigation, claiming insurance fraud after Hunsucker cashed in his wife's $250,000 life insurance policies and refused to allow an autopsy. According to the search warrant, Hunsucker didn't want his wife to be cut up, even though she was an organ donor. The mother of two was cremated, but tests on tissue donated before her death indicate she was poisoned with the chemical found in eye drops. Prosecutors pointing to her husband. The search warrant saying co-workers had concerns in how unaffected he was by the death of his wife and how quickly he had moved on with his girlfriend.
South Carolina, a woman has been charged with killing her husband by poisoning him with eye drops. Officials say Lana Clayton confessed to putting eye drops in her husband's food and water for several days. The 64-year-old was found dead in their home. His autopsy showed high levels of a chemical commonly found in the over-the-counter eye drops.
She revealed that she used the liquid, which is normally like eye drops, put it in his food, and she did that without his knowledge.